And welcome into a Monday. Two bald guys on the right. We are on the podcast, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends, and don't forget to hit the ding, ding, ding to get notified when it's time to when we come on the air. They'll notify you. It's a cool little thing that YouTube provides to get us going. So
we would appreciate the like, the subscribe, and the notification. We're trying to get over 1,000 subscribers. So any subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family to subscribe to Two Bald Guys on the Right. We sure would appreciate it.
By the way, I talked to Italian friends of mine today, and they said, indigenous people, get your own holiday. Forget about it. So whatever way you go, Indigenous People Day,
I'm all about
Columbus Day.
I'm all about celebrating Native American and Indigenous People Day.
I'm fine with that.
We don't have to replace one with the other.
I really am fine with that, but it should be their own day. I don't know how you add that, but it should be their own day if that's the case. My people from Nova Scotia came to America, and maybe they're Indigenous people. If we're including people from like Mexico and Guatemala and El Salvador, you got to include the Cajuns too.
My people from Ireland came off the boat. A bunch of them were slaves. My family, not in particular, but there were a bunch of Irish slaves too. So.
What are you talking about? Yeah, like we're not slaves. Work too hard, pay too much taxes.
We're slaves to the.
We are slaves to the system.
I'll take the American form of slavery nowadays versus any other form in the world. I'm good with that. You
talked to LeBron James. He said he wants some damn respect after winning another NBA championship. By the way,
your respect is how many millions of dollars, LeBron?
Dude,
get the hell out of here.
Anyway, LeBron wins another championship. He wants some respect. Respect is earned. The NBA numbers are in the can. In fact, Game 2, Louisiana Tech and BYU actually had more viewers.
How sad is that?
Than the NBA. That's
Finals.
That's like a third-tier Louisiana football team.
That's sad.
I'm just saying. So the president is back, and his doctor gave him the green light. It's amazing to hear the liberals crying. If a kid was in school and got it, he'd have to wait 14 days. And all of a sudden, we got doctors on social media. His doctor gave him the green light. So he goes out and he does a rally today in Florida. Let's hear the president.
Win this state, we're going to win 4 more years in the White House. We're going to make our country greater than it has ever been before.
I'm going to be honest. The guy looks good. He's 74 years old, not in great shape, and got out there and just hammered it. He said something. I went back and did my research. The World Health Organization came out today and said these lockdowns, they're reversing course and say they're not healthy.
Yeah, they're saying they're not helping with the coronavirus spread. The lockdown, something a lot of people have been saying for a long time now. And now the WHO is saying it. So someone please tell the governor in New Mexico and the one in Michigan and several others that are still locked down.
We're going to talk about the Michigan governor coming up in a second. Oh, my goodness.
I can't wait.
What a Shiite show that is.
Yeah, no lie.
White supremacists. Oh, wait a second.
What?
But are they? So we're going to start, we're going to get things rolling with Joe Biden on the political stump. Not a lot of people showing up, but he still wants to be out there. Let's go to Joe Biden getting the show started.
2020 census, which is now 2 censuses ago, soon to be.
Estimated 200 million people have died.
Say what?
How many?
How many?
How many was that, Joe?
I think we got one more gaff to. We got to have one more.
We do?
Well, if we don't,
I got it.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Everywhere I've been hearing all around the country, you're trying your best, but it never feels like enough.
I think he's talking to flat-chested women everywhere.
Oh, now he's body
You're
shaming.
Trying your breasts.
Now he's body
but
shaming. It's just not good enough.
It's just not good enough.
Oh,
wow.
That's messed up.
Unbelievable. So Biden's crowds, of course, they started off with the train tour, and then the crowds were atrocious. By the way, if you watch the videos on TV, you do not see any crowds. They're not showing the crowds. Even Fox News, I'm totally disappointed with you guys. They don't show the crowds.
And the crowd.
He was in Arizona. Supposedly, nobody showed up. You know, if Trump was out there, the people would be lining the streets. Nobody showed up. Well, at the end, they said, well, we don't really want a crowd. So here's a picture of him also over the weekend. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
We had to draw these cool little circles. And, wow, congratulations.
That is a bunch of people.
That is huge.
Let me tell you.
I mean, compared to the rally we just saw with the president, I don't know what we're going to do with all these people. I mean, we could probably fit them into a Volkswagen Bug.
But okay. Some of this stuff makes me hopeful. I see the Trump rallies, I'm hopeful. I see the Biden rallies, I'm hopeful that that he's gonna get beat. But then you hear everywhere I go, Hollywood, the pro athletes, all of these music artists that are.
But we got to remember,
the media.
Those are the minority of people in America.
I guess.
And those people, the athletes, the actors, the actresses, they don't amount to a hill of beans, really. And they don't even have a real damn job.
Yeah. Well, I hope it doesn't amount to a hill of beans, because I'm hopeful that these Trump rallies are going to, these people that are going out with so much. Has there been as much passion for a candidate in a long time?
I heard him talking about the Trump rally. He was in Stanford, Florida today. And one of the spokespeople on Fox was saying, all these people out there, blah, 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 blah. And you know what's great about America? We have choices. If you're scared and don't want to go out there, you know what you do?
Stay home.
You stay home. If you want to go out there and see the president, you know what you do?
You go out and see the president.
Yeah. So we all have choices to make, and that's what makes America great. But liberals still don't get about choices, because liberals think that they should tell us we should be like a bunch of robots, going to work and doing whatever they say.
And if I hear one more BLM activist, one more Antifa activist saying that America was never great, then get the hell out of the country. I know that people get flack for saying that, but if you're not happy here, you are free to leave.
You know what? I own a house in another country. I could leave at any point in time. And you know what? I'm not leaving America because America is not great. I'm leaving America because I depleted my savings account and my 401k to get custody of my kids many years ago. That's the God's honest truth. So do I regret it? Not in the least bit. Can I live a good life in America on what Social Security is going to give me and whatever money I scraped up at the end?
Probably not.
Probably not. So
which he's got a backup plan because he's pretty ingenuity. Got some ingenuity in him.
So we got the backup plan, and my plan is to go live in the Philippines. I built me a house. I'm on the beach. I can go over there and drink San Miguel beer and watch the sea come in.
Plus your wife's family.
Yeah, and help with the wife's family. So I got bored last night, and I started looking at, because the Gen Xers and the millennials are supposedly, they're big on social media.
They're big on social media, and they're supposed to be the core of the Biden backers.
Of the Democratic Progressive Party.
Right.
So I started looking at, first of all, I looked at Trump's Facebook page. And if you want to show that, Trump's Facebook page, he's got over 29 million.
29 million likes.
29 million likes and on the Donald Trump page. So I would figure that that Joe Biden's page would actually be bigger because of the millennials and the Gen Xers.
Because you would figure that there's a lot more younger crowd who are bigger into social media.
Right. And so Joe Biden's page is 2.9 million.
Wow.
So Trump beats him on Facebook. I said, well, maybe it's a Facebook thing because the kids aren't using Facebook as much as, they got TikTok, they got this, they got that. But Twitter should be a mainstay. And so I went to Twitter. Donald Trump.
87.2 million.
Wow. I'll say it again. Wow. And then Joe Biden,
10.9 million.
wow. So as I start thinking about this, maybe Joe Biden does not have the support that they're saying, and maybe it's just a bunch of hype from the media.
I think there's a lot to that, but I think, too, there's a lot of people that are following Trump that hate him. There's a lot of people, at least on Twitter for sure, because there's a lot of people on Twitter that just follow him just to see what kind of stuff he's going to say so that they can repost it and crucify him later.
I agree. I agree with to a certain degree. And my liberal brother said, well, not all those numbers are real people. I said, oh, they're all bots, I guess, because they're Donald Trump supporters.
Sure.
And I'm not saying, Facebook and Twitter from time to time will purge accounts that aren't being used. And they'll wipe them out and start again.
And there are definitely bots, but I'm guessing that neither Biden nor Trump really need a bunch of bot support.
No, I'm not buying into that. I'm not really buying into that. So it gets interesting with Governor Whitmer from the great state of Michigan. Oh, well, let me rephrase that. The once great state of Michigan. Think about this. Detroit, Michigan. Steel City, baby. Steel City.
So,
well, that was really, but I mean, they were rolling off cars. I mean,
to set all this up, so the Supreme Court in Michigan ruled that the things that she was doing, her lockdowns, were unconstitutional and that she had to stop.
Yeah, they said that, that's the authority she had, and then all of a sudden she was here.
And so they ruled
Wait, I'm off camera.
Yeah,
hold a sec. I got to go this way now. Anyway, you can see she was way overstepping her boundaries. So last week when there was a kidnap attempt,
right,
automatically Whitmer and Joe Biden said that Trump did not do enough to denounce the white supremacist. Do you remember that?
I do.
And Whitmer she's something special. I mean, she believes that she is now in charge of every facet of everything that goes on with these people's lives.
And that she's more powerful than the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Because she's flat out told them that she's not going to abide by their ruling.
So one of the people that were arrested was a guy named Daniel Harris. He's 23 years old. Well, is he a white supremacist? Because he attended a Black Lives Matters protest in June.
Really?
And telling the Oakland County Times that he was upset about the killing of George Floyd and police violence. I don't know if that sounds like a white supremacist to me.
Not a white supremacist if he's supporting BLM.
Anyway, he's a former Marine who lives at home with his parents and from time to time does some construction work. That sounds like more like an Antifa guy. But anyway, he's one of the guys, and supposedly 3 of the 6 guys they arrested were actually supporters of
Black Lives Matter.
Oh, wow. What a turn in the developing of this story.
So, I'm sorry, media. And why aren't you covering this? Oh, because it doesn't fit your narrative. That's why.
That's right. And I think that people are just tired of the whole Black Lives Matters movement. I mean, look, Black Lives Matters had, protests all over the place. Did I ever once say I'm going to go do a counter protest? No. Let them have their protests as long as it's peaceful. God bless them. Now, when it got out of hand, that's when you seen other people saying, man, we're going to go protect our city. Well, there was a big Trump rally and Black Lives Matter shows up. It didn't turn out really good for one Black Lives Matters guy who decided to pick on somebody's dog and mess with and talk smack to the wrong guy.
Oops.
6'3", 300 pounds.
Look out.
Yeah, here we go. Roll the tape, Will. Please don't do that.
She wants to be 20 so bad.
Don't you even touch that dog.
I'll kick you in your fucking forehead, motherfucker. What? What?
Here he comes.
What?
Hacksaw Jim Dugan.
What? What? What?
Oh, you talking smack.
Talking smack behind the women from the safety of the girls. Oh, not for long.
Where's the 2x4, Hacksaw? Whoa!
Yeah, use those women as body shield.
There you
Now you're
go.
ready. Now you're ready.
Bam!
Oh,
Yeah, I think people are just tired of these little wannabes, and I didn't see a black person in the whole damn audience
No.
when it came to Black Lives Matters.
nope.
I think people are just tired of them infringing on everybody else. You know what? If you want to be a counter protest, go on the other damn side of the road. And big old hacksaw Jim Dugan, I don't know if that was a look a lot like him.
Yeah. Don't mess with somebody's dog, though.
Yeah, no.
Apparently, I don't know if he kicked at the dog or slapped the
He
dog.
did something to the dog.
But
And
don't-
we didn't
don't-
see it on the video, but he
Don't
did
mess
something
with,
to the
don't
dog.
mess with somebody's dog
Don't mess with the dog.
because
So
you're going to get your butt kicked.
Kamala Harris not only wants to stop us from making a living with fracking, she also wants to tell us what exactly we can ingest in our body.
Oh, here we go with Michelle Obama all over again.
So she was asked the question, if elected, what would she do about climate change involving what people consume in their body? Roll the tape, William.
Will you be supporting change in dietary guidelines? And then how will you plan on implementing the changes so that people effectively change their diets?
Yeah, I mean, and thank you, Carol, for your work and the question. I think of the point that you're raising in a broader context, which is that as a nation, we actually have to have a real priority at the highest level of government around what we eat and in terms of healthy eating, because we have a problem in America. And we can talk about all that we are now, the subject of this conversation, we can talk about the amount of sugar in everything. We could talk about soda. We could go on and on. So the answer is yes. But I'll also say this. The balance that we have to strike here, frankly, is about what government can and should do around creating incentives and then
Right, here it
banning
is.
certain behaviors. I mean, just to
Oh, banning for certain behaviors. That would be red meat and, of course, sodas
Soda.
and that type of stuff. So Kamala Harris wants to come to your house and take your steak.
Off your table.
And if you
'Cause
drink a soda,
those cows, they contribute to the greenhouse
yeah,
gas.
and so we have to do away with that. So
I'm sure
that's
the
just
CO2 and the carbonated water, too.
Let's she wants to take our guns. She wants to stop fracking. She wants to control what we eat. And see, this is where the liberals have it wrong. Look, do I think people should eat healthy? Yeah, I do. Do I think people, we talk about coronavirus and all this. They have said that if you are obese, your chances go up. Well, we know this. We know it.
Guess what else your chances go for? Diabetes,
Heart disease, the
high
list
blood
goes,
pressure.
The list goes on and on. So we know that we need to get in better shape. It's not the government's job to mandate that we get in better shape.
No.
Just saying. Dr. Fauci is quite upset over a Trump ad. He said on CNN this weekend that they took the ad out of context. I guess kind of like him saying you should wear a mask and then go into a baseball game and not social distancing. And then, of course, not wearing a mask or wearing it, on his chin. Good job. So he says, I've been working for the government for 5 decades. It's not my place to actually endorse a president.
It's not that he endorsed him. He said something about the administrations and that he's a part of,
Right.
that their reaction to the coronavirus. So I have to tell you, if Trump is to blame for the coronavirus, Fauci's at the top of that list, people. Because the Democrats, they just love Fauci, and because he comes out and he doesn't always agree with the president. The president doesn't always agree with Fauci.
Right.
But hell, Fauci, in his own words, contradicts himself.
Right.
Masks. He's the one that first came out and said that masks were
No need to wear a mask.
no need to wear a mask. And then, now all of a sudden, we have to wear a mask, have to social distance, have to do all these other things. Why didn't we wear a mask from day one?
I don't know.
Because of Fauci's recommendation.
Yeah, he's the one that said it. Him and Jerome Adams, who is the guy who's in charge of our health department. So, yeah, I mean, he's the guy that said it along with Fauci. Chris Wallace at it again this weekend. Last weekend, we played the tape. He was hammering the Trump campaign director. Well, this weekend, he has Laura Trump on. and hammers her about the mask. Oh, my goodness. But Laura fights back. And Laura Trump, I don't think it says it on the video, but she went on to say that at no time did the Cleveland Clinic ever come to the family and say you have to wear a mask, like Chris Wallace did last Sunday on his Sunday talk show on Fox News. No credibility going to Fox News nowadays. So let's roll the tape of how he set this whole conversation up with Laura Trump.
Of the White House yesterday, and while people were not socially distanced, many, but not all, were wearing masks. Having said that, that's a lot better than 2 weeks ago at the event for Judge Amy Coney Barrett, where people were packed in, almost no masks, and Dr. Fauci has said that that event was a super spreader. Question, why did it take the president getting COVID for the White House to take the CDC safety guidelines more seriously, although even yesterday they were still violating some?
Wow. So she is a heavy hitter. I love Laura Trump because she's the wife of Eric Trump, and Eric Trump does not get the play that Don Jr. does. He really doesn't. He's busy running the business. So she comes back and she hits Chris Wallace smack in his glasses.
You never hear, Chris, on the other side of the coin, the fact that we have had in this country since really the height of the COVID days, these demonstrations across America, riots in the streets, peaceful protests, some of them, many of them not peaceful, all across America, but you never hear any concern after these things about those being super spreader events. I have yet to hear one doctor say anything about them. I have yet to hear one media outlet say anything about those. It doesn't seem like coronavirus would have a political agenda, but...
Yeah. Thank you so much, Laura Trump. Wow. I don't think it has a political... I mean, the virus is smart. And if it was that smart, it would know to back the Republicans. Just saying. So I kind of started thinking a little different about this whole 25th Amendment with Nancy. I'm actually looking really good because I'm coordinating my mask with the color of my blazer. And so she wants to create a panel to gauge the president's capacity. And I thought at first when I did this story, I was like, they're going after Trump and his capacity following the coronavirus. Contraire, my friend.
No, they're just doing a setup. They're preparing. They're setting the stage. They're playing the long game.
Wow. So if Biden gets in, yeah, they do a little capacity on him and figure out that the dude is not doing real well as far as mental function.
Don't get me wrong. Do I think that they'll use it against Trump? I think they'll use anything that they can against Trump, especially if he wins. They're going to use whatever they can. But with Biden, they're just setting it up so that Kamala can take over.
Okay, so if that's the case, could this hurt the Biden-Harris campaign? Because there's a lot of people that they dig Joe. I mean, they go out to his rally. Well, I'm not going to say that.
No.
But they go out, they support him. They're riding with Biden. And could that hurt him? Because Kamala is the most radical liberal in the Senate. She really, really is. More so than Bernie, they said. So could this hurt the campaign? Think about that for a second. It might. It might. Trump might win the battle.
I don't know, because it might reinvigorate some of the Bernie supporters who actually aren't real thrilled with Biden.
No, they're not real thrilled because who knows the way that might go. So, we're coming up on the Indigenous People Columbus holiday, and today was the official holiday, and Portland, boy, they were busy again, man. I tell you what, Portland, I got to give Portland props. They're out. They're just tearing stuff down. Old Abe Lincoln tore down. I just don't. What does Abe Lincoln? He freed the slaves,
right?
There's no president that did more for African Americans than Abe Lincoln.
Well, let's tear a statue down.
So they tear it. By the way, they also tore down the Christopher Columbus statue. And then in Mexico, they tore down the Christopher Columbus statue also. And They're just tearing down statues. Now, look, if you want to get your own statues, I'm good with that. As long as you fundraise and pay for it. You want to put up statues, put up your damn statues.
Sure.
If Biden wins, I'm thinking about putting a statue of Will's rear end out in front of my house.
Really?
Yes. I needed the biggest rear end out there.
Yes,
and
it's pretty flat, but it's pretty wide.
I'm just saying. So
flat and wide. You could probably do some rock climbing on that thing.
We'll put the statue out there. So, but I mean, the whole thing is crazy that we allow people to tear down statues that belong to the people. Destruction of public property. I know that's in the law book somewhere. Somebody might have to look it up.
You would think, especially, I mean, isn't there some federal laws against defacing federal statues, I thought?
So coming up on the Thursday podcast, we're going to dive into the World Health Organization, talking about, this lockdown is really not good for anybody. Suicide rates have gone up, among a lot of things. So we're going to dive into that. We got a lot of things to talk about. I'm sure by then Biden will have a couple more gaffes. The president will be back out almost every single night working it, and he gets the crowd. Biden gets nobody.
Right.
God bless you guys. Keep your head on straight. Don't forget to get out and vote. There's only one way to beat this. Get out and vote, and I remind you, vote and vote red if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get as many red seats as we can, everywhere we can. And also make sure, if you would, too, when you go over to Be in the Breakfast Club, our secondary YouTube page, you can like that, see us in the morning at Be in the Breakfast Club on YouTube. And, of course, please hit the subscribe button at Two Bald Guys on the right. We sure appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.